So the two shows that we watched was suggested by you over the Patreon is Tatsuki Fujimoto, 17 to 26. We watched 4 episodes of that. And we also watched Kite, which was requested by Joey. Because he wanted to get us on the same list as he is. Apparently.
Yeah. He wants to get us deported from countries, which is like the most banned anime ever.
Yeah.
Yes, technically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah, I heard you guys had never seen it before, and I was like, well, you have to watch it.
I mean, I'd known about it and I'd heard about it because Kite is, I'd say, infamous.
Very much
It is an anime that, you know, a lot of people, if you grew up watching the kind of like 80s, 90s OVA boom, you would have come across Kite.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the most, like, namesake-wise, probably one of the most well-known OVAs from the 90s.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
I did not know it came out that late.
Yeah.
Because watching it now and seeing some of the content in that, I was like, yo, this is some grungy late 80s, early 90s metal shit. And I was like, this came out in 1998?
Yep.
This came out in Cowboy Bebop era?
Yeah.
It's just,
legit.
I was like, okay, we must be on the tail end of this stuff then, because
I think so.
yeah, I did not know that this came out just before I became an anime fan, basically. But it comes from a pretty, is he a famous director or not?
I don't believe so. I believe he's like a veteran of the game.
But he is pretty well known in some circles.
He is, yes.
And also the reason why we even started talking about this anime and why it came up was because we were in a bar and this guy was just playing this anime that looked insane. And I asked the guy, I was like, what is that anime? He's like, oh, it's Kite. And I was like, dude, this shit looks crazy. And then Pete read the wiki and then he put his phone on and he goes, great, now I'm depressed.
Yes, this is a very depressing. So this is technically a 2-episode OVA, which came out in the late 90s. And as the name suggests, it is technically speaking one of the most banned anime / hentai. I made a video on this about...
Why is it banned, Joey? Why is it banned?
Well, okay, so it's on Crunchyroll though, right?
Yes, but I believe it's the non-director's cut.
I'm guessing what I saw, we watched the director's cut?
We watched the director's cut. We watched the uncensored version.
I like how there's one theme, and the theme is gore.
I mean, they're not wrong. Yeah, so this came out in the late 90s, and there are some scenes which we'll maybe touch upon in this episode. Where it basically, when it came over to the West, because this was around the time where a lot of anime started slowly kind of migrating over to the West to be released in the West. This is one of the few anime where a lot of countries like the US and a lot of Europe was just like, maybe we shouldn't show all of this.
Yeah.
Can we see the list of countries where it was banned as well? I'm just curious. Why we keep talking about it?
Yeah, I believe it was completely banned in the US.
So the director's cut is 15 minutes more, and I want to remind you that it's only like 50 minutes. So it's like, and I still feel like in that 50 minutes that we watched, I had a lot of questions still.
Yep.
So it was banned in Norway, the United States. Yeah, basically, it's most of the United States and most of Europe, I believe.
Fair enough. And I gotta say, understandable.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Understandable.
Yep.
But essentially, the plot. Do you guys want to explain the plot of this?
Fucking hell.
I've talked about it to death already. So,
so like, you know,
it's a pretty simple plot.
It's pretty, yeah.
It's basically John Wick, isn't it?
Well, it's basically a couple of key John Wick features.
Yeah.
A couple of differences. I mean, you know, I forgot how it opens up. It opens up and this girl is getting, you know, who looks quite young, is kind of getting touched in this elevator.
I forgot about that cold open.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I don't like this. And then this woman's kind of in the elevator being like, you're a disgusting pig. Stop touching this. Da, da, da. And then the guy's
he's like a famous person as well.
Yeah. And the guy's like, shut up, old woman. And like kicks her away. Like it's quite violent initially. And then when he does that, the girl just pulls out a gun and kills this guy. And then you're like, Jesus, okay.
But it's not just any gun. It's a gun where the bullets explode
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah, I think I said in my reaction, it felt like one of the Psychopath guns where you see the impact and then you wait a little bit and then it just explodes
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a full glory of blood
Yeah.
and
I mean,
stuff.
That's the first thing you notice. For some reason, the animation is ridiculous. It's phenomenal.
The animation is, insane, especially during the action sequences.
Yeah. It
It
went crazy.
pretty much is, this is very reminiscent of the hypersexual, hyper-violent OVAs of the 80s and 90s. Right. I would say it goes even beyond that in some aspects because I've seen some of the OVAs and sometimes, during the gore scenes or the violent scenes, that's always hyper-violent. Some of the sex scenes, I feel like there's like a line sometimes of sex scenes being done tastefully. And some things are implied. This one was right up of every hentai that I've seen. It was that
It was
explicit.
just like porn at times.
Yeah.
There's using, I think that's probably understandably where a lot of the gripe and public scrutiny was against this was that, like, when you look at some shows that use sex, and especially sex when it's involved in, I'll just say the R word just so that we don't get it demonetized for 10 minutes in. Well, if 30 minutes in, I'll say it. But, when you use that as a tool for storytelling, it's a very powerful thing and a very controversial thing to use. So when there are points in stories where it makes sense. And of course, we live in the real world. This is something that happens. And these are stories.
Yeah.
You
really have to use it like carefully.
As a filmmaker, when you're making these things, you can use it, but you need to know when to use it.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, when you show like a 5 to 10 minute long fucking scene, you're like, I don't know if you can argue this is for the story anymore. This is just like a bit weird and fetishy, and you're like, it's kind of hard to justify it being in there. But obviously it got cut out of most versions. And the stories, I can't imagine it would make much sense without it. But also when you're watching it, you're like, oh God, please fucking turn this off. Please end. Please cut. I get it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's so overly animated.
I mean, you'll see in the reaction, but there was this point where me and Connor were watching, and some of the sex scenes are used to establish that one of the bad guys in this is a bad guy.
Very bad guy, yeah.
And, there was a scene at the halfway point at the beginning, at the first episode where what happens is the main girl is an assassin and she has essentially been groomed by this older man who has murdered her family and basically raised her and groomed her.
Well, one point that you have to make sure to point out is that this guy is a cop.
And this guy
he's like the head of the police department, but he's obviously incredibly corrupt.
Yes.
So as Garn said, like he brings on this girl called Sawa, who is our main character, basically kills her parents and then lies to her saying like, I will find the people who killed your parents, but you have to do a bunch of dirty work for me, which involves going around killing like some of the most abhorrent people in this society.
Yeah. Which everyone is abhorrent.
In this series,
there's no
everyone
one good, bro.
sucks. There is
There's
not
no
a
one
single
good.
good person in this thing. But so obviously she's been controlled, very much so, and has no choice essentially. And so a lot of the show is her and this other assassin kid, Obudi, going around basically doing dirty work for these corrupt cops. And the action scenes that take place in both the episodes are I would say some of the most iconic 90s OVA action scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd already seen some of these scenes just because they'd been posted online. And I mean, the action animation and just I hate to say it, but like the action and the action animation were both really well animated.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they went a little too hard.
Yeah.
You're like,
they went harder.
Yeah,
They went hard,
when they're animating it, you're like, why are you doing so much animation for this? Stop.
It's like 60 FPS in this
Turn this scene off.
And yeah, like I think the big selling point of this and why I think it became infamous was just the animation is genuinely some of like the most insane animation you can get from the 90s,
Yeah.
you know, especially with the action animation. The way what I love about old anime, and I noticed this when watching Memories as well. God, I miss the way they animate explosions.
Oh,
man.
Oh my god,
There's-
explosions look so good.
There's this kind of like organic like quality to the way the explosions just billow out.
Yeah.
And they just fill up every room, which is not realistic, but goddamn, does it just look so cool?
It's satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also like eyes and like faces, like they almost look like porcelain. They look really. There's something really nice about it. And it was So then obviously the scene where we start off, kills this guy in the elevator, and then it cuts to a room where the corrupt cop is just like naked, and you're like, okay, all right. And then she's like, I don't want to have sex. He's like, no. And then they have sex. You're like, okay, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And then immediately there's another gig to assassinate another guy. And then we see another guy called Oburi, who's there, who's kind of like another kid assassin, who's been recruited into this kid assassin empire. And he's kind of a newbie and has a hard time getting this job off. And Sawa helps him do it. And then they become friends. You're like, oh, okay, there's hope in this world. Maybe there's these two kid assassins can have some kind of weird kid assassin friendship.
Yeah, trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
But then Sawa gets another job where she has to kill
A guy with a mole.
there's
It's like
two
Hollywood
guys.
execs.
Yeah, Hollywood. There's two Hollywood actors. They're pretending to be one, so she has to kill one of them. And then it's revealed later on as well that one of the brothers, who's one of the twins, put out the hit as well. So
Yeah.
really bizarre. Anyway, this all goes horribly wrong. It's a big disaster. She kills the wrong guy. Explosions happen, and then the guy gets fucking annoyed. The corrupt cop. He's like, "What have you done?
Yep.
You piece of shit." Anyway, and then it cuts to the next episode where they tell Oguri, the other kid assassin, they're like, "Hey, you need to, you have 3 jobs you need to do. You need to kill three more targets for us.
Yeah.
So go and kill the first guy." And he's like, "All right, okay."
In the subway.
In the subway. It's like, sure, got it. And they don't really tell you much about who these guys are they're killing. We never really find out what they do.
Yeah, it's only like 50 minutes of like
Yeah.
Well,
animation.
all they really tell you is
They
that
just tell you they're a bad guy.
yeah, all they really tell you is that they're high-profile people in society who are behind the scenes doing shit that would get them on the Epstein list, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's also like not implied that it feels like at least that they're not trustworthy, the reasons we're being told a lot of the
Yeah.
times. And
Yeah.
you really don't know if they're killing people who deserve it or not. That anyone, I guess, who doesn't deserve it, who gets that say, but they're not exactly, it's not always clear who's a bad person or not. And it's also not clear who these orders are coming from or why this cop is doing this or anything is clear. Anyway, Oguri goes into the subway to kill this guy. And it's very quickly apparent that when he gets on the subway train that this guy's bodyguards, which they're like, okay, all right, what's going on? And then as he's about to go and assassinate this guy, the assassin is clearly not a guy to be trifled with, and he starts fighting back immediately and giving Oguri a tough time. But Sawa ends up helping him out and saves his life, and they kill the assassin whilst destroying the entire station of Takadarama.
Yeah.
Explosions and all.
Yeah.
And then Sawa and Oguri are like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's just run away.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking deal with these bastards. They're the worst. So Oguri tries to kill the corrupt police officer who's been kind of in charge of everything. But unfortunately, he is a little too kind and doesn't finish him off quick enough, and it all goes badly. And then probably the worst scene in the entire fucking show happens, and I wish this was cut from our viewing, but the cop who's corrupt is like, you know what? You're a piece of shit. I'm gonna
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the NTR.
I'm gonna do it.
So he gets Sawa and he has there in front of Oguri, and then is like, all right, now after I've done that, I'm gonna kill you. And then Sawa's like, bro, what the fuck? That was fucked.
Meanwhile, by the way, throughout this whole time, Akai, that's his name, the corrupt cop, is just like, oh man, for a second there, I thought you were really gonna fucking betray me. So good job on playing your part. So I was like, the fuck? Hell no.
But it turns out she did. She did in fact betray him because
then she kills everyone.
she kills the head cop Akai and his henchman. And then you feel like it's going to be happy ever after. But unfortunately, as Oguri is just walking down the street, another child assassin out of nowhere pops him in the head.
Yep.
He's killed. And the final scene is Sour waiting for Oguri, but Oguri's dead. And then we hear the door open, and then it cuts to black, implying that Sour was unfortunately killed as well by another random kid assassin.
Yes.
So just like the most horrific vibes.
It is, yeah. It is depression for 50 minutes, essentially.
Yeah, it is.